Everyone, welcome. So happy you're here. You know what we do every Saturday, Riff Rundown. My name is Angela Petrilli. Thrilled to have all of you here today. Angela Petrilli here with the Riff Rundown with the awesome folks at Fishman. Again, I've been doing these lessons for just shy of a year. Next year will be the 1 anniversary of these shows. If you're loving these shows, you're loving these lessons, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It helps the cause, folks. It's a lot of fun. So with these lessons, you know that this is a live Q&A too. So we're going to be going through this song. And if you guys have questions throughout the hour, by all means, be sure to type in the comments. And I'm going to get to as many of those as I can within the hour. So today we're going to be learning Wild World by Cat Stevens, Yusuf Cat Stevens. Really great, fun song. Acoustic guitar, standard tuning. It is a very fun song to play. So lots of really cool parts, and we're gonna get into all of it today. So as always, I break it down note for note, chord by chord, all of that good stuff. Before we get started, folks, let me know where you are tuning in from, all right? And let me know your favorite singer-songwriter. So I'm gonna plug in this bad boy. This is gonna be a lot of fun today. So acoustic guitar, standard tuning, have a pick handy. We're gonna need it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So here we go. Here is Wild World. Fun song, guys. This is going to be a fun one to play. The chords, as you can tell, very simple chords here. We're going to get some cool additional slash chords like this C over G or this D over F sharp. Really fun stuff. Okay, there we go. Open E string, apparently. Blah, live. It's going to be a lot of fun. So it's all about groove with this song. The chords are simple, but it's really laying down that really cool groove here. A lot of right-to-hand technique as far as the strumming hand. We will be talking about that today quite a bit. There is a very cool, very melodic, very tasteful piano solo, but I'm gonna put it on guitar because we're all guitar players, so this will be a lot of fun. Again, if you're enjoying these lessons, folks, be sure to subscribe to the channel on YouTube. The little thing is like over here somewhere. Click on it, it helps the cause. Would absolutely love if you did. Again, super fun tune here today, and as always, like to ask a question. So newcomers, we're going to be learning Wild World today by Yusuf Cat Stevens. Let me know where you're tuning in from and your favorite singer-songwriter. Okay, let's get started. So what we're going to do here, so I'll talk a little bit about the chords. So we've got an A minor, but what we're going to be doing here, you know, a lot of times when I tell you to play an A minor, like watch out for the E string, don't play it. I want you to play it today. So it's going to be an A minor / E, okay? So you're going to play all the strings when we play this. and it sounds like that. Why does this sound really cool? Well, E is a very nice bass note in this chord. Why? If we look at the minor chord, A minor, we look at the notes that build this chord, A, C, and E. Those are the notes. And hey, wait a second, we get an extra E in the bass. So it's pretty cool stuff. So for my beginners, real quickly, I'll go ahead and tell you how to play this A minor chord. First finger, you're going to put that on C. That's going to be on the first fret of that B string. Your second finger, reach up second fret of the D string. That note is E. Third finger is going to play A, second fret of the G string. We are going to strum everything. Include that E string, because it's an A minor slash E, okay? So what we're going to do here, in order to get this groove, okay, I'm going to play the whole intro here. This also doubles as the verse, so yay. Check this out. We're going to be hitting the lower end of the chord every time for this intro and the verse. So we're going to strum this A minor chord like this, A minor slash E. So low strings, E string, A string, D string, G string. And then that third strum down, anchor it from the D string downwards, D, G, B, E, okay? So here's it in context. I'll play the next couple chords. So notice how I'm getting a couple of open strings in there. It fills the space. It's okay. Again, it really adds to the groove here, because that's one of the absolutely wonderful, coolest things of this song is the groove. So let's go ahead and do that again with that A minor. Now with the palm here, I'm kind of sort of palm muting. Light. Palm muting light. Okay? So I'm letting it kind of ring through. It is deadened a little bit. Like that. Hear it? That's what we're looking for here. We don't want to... It's very light. If you watch some versions of him playing this, there's a particular version, if you did Cat Stevens' 1971, you'll see a really cool acoustic version of this. He's got a bass player and another acoustic guitar player playing with him. And you can see how very, very light he plays this. Okay, so we're not really digging into these chords too much. Again, really, really adding into this very cool groove. Okay, so down strums on the lower strings, last strum on the higher strings. Just like that. That's going to be the pattern here. So we're going to continue this on with the other chords. And as also too, folks, don't forget, this is a live Q&A, so if you guys have questions, please feel free. And I love that there are folks all over the world. I just glanced over. We got someone from Chicago and someone from Tel Aviv. They're just amazing. I love how music brings people together. It's fabulous. All right, so here we go. We have A minor over E, D over F sharp. So how we're going to do this, I like to reach over and play this F sharp on the second fret of that E string with my thumb, okay? Again, I've talked about this in a couple times during my lessons. You don't want to squeeze it really, really hard. Give it just enough pressure for it to sound nice and clear, okay? So that's what we're looking for here. Don't feel like you need to squeeze it too much. And then we're going to play the D chord as we regularly would. First finger is going to be on A, second finger is going to be on F sharp, third finger is going to be on D. And again, same strumming pattern, lower strings, higher strings, okay? So let's go ahead and do that from the A minor over E, then to D over F sharp. Here we go. Okay, see what I mean? Let's go ahead and do that a few more times here. And notice here too, I get that F sharp there. It gives me just a split second longer to fill in this D chord. So if you need the extra time, don't worry. This F sharp in the bass gives you a little bit more time, okay? Just a fun little trick. Just think about it. So here we go. Okay, so that's what's happening there. Let's do it a little bit faster. All right, and again, those upstrokes after we finish that chord, they fill in the space, so feel free to do that once you get the groove down. feel free to add in those little extra things to fill the space of those chords. All right, so the next chord here is going to be G. We're going to play it in this fashion. Okay, a nice like country sounding G chord, not the regular, the one that you see me playing a lot in these lessons. We really want that open B string there. Okay, so how we reach for this, that third finger is playing G, third fret of that E string. And your pinky is going to play the G note on the third fret of the E string. Now you may be asking what's happening with this A chord, or this A string. We're muting it. What naturally happens here is when you grab with the third finger, right, that bit of your, it's not quite the fingertip, right? It's where you would give like your fingerprint. Right there, that part of it, that is going to mute that A string. So that muted string, I know a lot of times we don't want them, but in this case, it's a good thing, okay? So reach like that, and you're gonna strum everything here. So notice if I were to arpeggiate this or play each of the notes, notice how the A string is gonna be deadened. That's okay, all right? We're still, with this grip, we are still hitting our target points of the 1, 3, 5, the G, B, and D, okay? So we have G here, open D string, open G string, open B string, and the G here. So we are checking off the list, those 3 points we need to make that G major chord. So that's why this is a G major chord, because we're getting all those notes. All right, so that's what we want there. Same strumming pattern, 2 strums on the low part, third strum on the higher strings, okay? So now let's go ahead and include this all together. A minor over E, D over F sharp, and then into G. Here we go. Okay, let's do that again with the full 3 chords at the G chord. Here we go. Again. Okay, next chord is going to be a C over G. Here's how we're going to do this. So we have a C chord. This is actually a really beautiful way to play a C chord. I love adding that G in the bass. So here's what we're going to do. We have a regular C chord, right? First finger on C, second finger, second fret of the D string, that is E, third finger reaching to C, third fret of that A string. But what we're going to do here to play that C over G, get that third finger, bring it up to G, third fret of the E string, just like that. Pinky finger is going to go and play C, third fret of the A string. Bam. There's your C over G. Done. You're going to strum everything. Listen how beautiful this chord is. Isn't that great? So that's the chord he chooses to play here. Really, really beautiful melodic choice. It's beautiful. So again, same strumming pattern. Lower strings, higher strings. 1, 2, 3. All right, so just like that. That's what's happening there. Let's go ahead and now play these 4 chords together with this strumming pattern. I'll go ahead and do it slow and then we'll build up the speed. Here we go. A minor / E, D over F sharp to G, this position, then to C over G. Okay, here we go. Okay, I know this G to C, it's kind of a tough change, perhaps for my beginners. Stick with it. Slow and steady wins the race here. Okay, slow and steady. So, good stuff, right? So here we go. So the next chord after this, it's going to be the 1 bar chord. Sorry folks. I know there are a lot of us who don't like the F bar chord, but it's so great in this, like you have to play it. Playing this version is okay. This version, I think, is much better because we're working so hard to get this really cool bass action happening. Right? And with these chords, with the G chord, with the C over G, we want to continue that playing the F bar chord in this fashion. So here's how we're going to do this. For my beginners here, we're going to bar everything with the first finger, every string at the first fret. Now, I don't want you on top of the fret. I want you to get as close to it as you can without touching it. All right? So just like that. Now the thumb. I want them, if we pretend for a moment that the neck of the guitar was invisible, they would be able to see each other. Okay, so we want them nearby. That thumb, keeping it at the middle of the neck, it's really, really hard. I think almost impossible if you have your thumb up here and you try to make a bar chord, okay? By placing our thumb at the middle of the neck, it is going to elongate our hands and elongate our grip, okay? And it's gonna allow us to stretch a lot better. So put that thumb in the middle of the neck. It's only going to help you, okay? So think like a lobster or a crab, whatever other crustacean with claws, like that, okay? So you're gonna do that. Then you're gonna get your second finger, placing that on the second fret of that G string. That note is A, so that's our third, right? If we have F, A, and C to make this F chord, the A is the third, okay? Now we're gonna do here, second finger is going to reach up third fret of the A string. That note is C, there's our fifth. Your third finger is going again to curl. See how it's right underneath, smushed underneath the third finger? We are also playing an F here, third fret of the D string, okay? So we are gonna strum every single string. That's what we're looking for, okay? Press through, keep the fingers curled, okay? Your second, third, and fourth finger, keep them curled, keep them strong, all right? That grip with that first finger and thumb is going to set the really, really great foundation, good clarity with this chord. So make sure that that is nice and strong. So I dropped my charts because, you know, we're live here. So let's get these charts back up and let's continue on. So we've got the F there. So let's go ahead and strum from the top, A minor over E, D over F sharp, to G, to C over G, to F. And again, if you guys are loving these lessons, be sure to subscribe to the channel. These are a ton of fun. Here we go, from the top. See what I mean? Let's do it a little slower. Let's do that one more time. Then we get on to our next chord, okay? Really important here, nice light strumming, okay? It's like we're almost palm muting those two lower strums on the lower strings, okay? Nice and light. All right, next chord is going to be a D minor, D, F, and A. Our target points are 1, flat 3, and our 5. How we are going to play this, first finger is playing F, first fret of the E string, second finger, second fret of the G string, that's A. Third finger, third fret of the D string, that note is D, okay? Third note of B string, D note, blah, there we go, okay? So that D minor is going to be there. Same strumming pattern. Let's start the strumming of this D minor chord from the open D string like this. If you happen to get the A string in there, it's fine because an A is in this D minor chord. So it is okay if you happen to get that A in there. It's fine. All right? So D minor. And then we have an E7. We are going to grip it in this way. This is one of two different ways that we are going to play the E7 in this song. I'm going to go ahead and show the other one later. That's going to happen at the end of the chorus, okay? So this is version 1 of the E7 that we see in this song, Wild, where we're going to do here. First finger, first fret of that G string, G sharp, that is the third of our chord here. Second finger, second fret of the A string, that is B. That's the fifth. We have our root here, open E string. Strum everything. All right, just like that. Okay, and with this chord here, same strumming pattern, down on the lower strings, third string, or third strum on the higher strings. So let's go ahead and go through here. Again, we are covering not only the intro, but the verses too. This is great. So let's do this from the top. Here we go. Oh, C over G. F. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, a little faster, and then we'll get on to the really cool riff that goes right after this. Okay, here we go, a little faster. All right, so now we have a riff. What's cool here is you can stay on this E7. The riff comes from this chord shape. It's gonna look and sound like this. So notice how we're not really moving our hands or doing a cool hammer on with a third finger. That's it, okay? So here's what we're gonna do here. The G string, there we go. Okay, now we do this, I'll show you the notes first. As we get used to this, we're gonna make it a little more fluid, a little more natural, but I wanna show you the notes that we're doing here. So we're gonna be hitting the E string, open, and this G sharp, the G string, I'm plucking downward on the E string, upward on the G string. Like that. If you do this, you're gonna get caught up. I encourage you. Think of this as a really, really wide alternate pick, okay? Just like that, okay? And then we're gonna hammer on here. Where are we gonna hammer on? What note is this? Well, we're gonna do, you're gonna get this first finger. You're gonna keep it there. We're gonna hammer on with this third finger to the second fret of the G string. That note is A. Okay, pretty neat, right? Now, after that, open B string. It's already there, does the work for us, okay? So here we go again, nice and slow. Good stuff, right? Not too bad. So now we're gonna do here, I'm gonna do this one time, I'm gonna play through the chords of that intro and that verse, and then I'm gonna do this riff, okay? So here we go. All right, again, thinking of it, you're still keeping the time, thinking of it as a very wide alternate pick here, all right? Downward on the E string, upward on the G string, and you're gonna be fine, okay? So that's what's happening there. So when we go into the verse, this is going to be the same chords. We're gonna have that same little E7 lick there. So that is going to go through once. So we play the A minor to D over F sharp, to G, to C over G, F bar chord, D minor, E7, E7 lick. Now we go back to those chords, A minor over E. Now instead of playing the E7 riff, we're gonna strum an E7 chord, and then we're gonna strum a G chord, okay? So it's gonna sound a little bit like, or it's gonna sound exactly like this. It's gonna sound exactly like this. I'm teaching how to play this song. So here it is, okay? In this order, here we go, this is the verse. Lick, back to the chords. E7 to G. Then we get on to this riff, which is really fun. Notice the alternate picking here. Very, very fun. So what we're gonna do here, G chord, okay? So we're coming from that G, or let's do the E7 from the E7. E7, G, let the chord ring, then do the first part of the riff. Open D string, downward stroke, G string, upward stroke, alternate picking. Okay, so from the G chord, ring. That's the first part of the riff. So let that chord ring through. Then we continue on with the riff here. Second finger, third fret of that D string, okay? So that note is F, so we have F, open G string, supposed to be dissonant, don't worry, we're gonna fix that just in a moment. E to G, bring that second finger back to the second fret of the D string, open G string, alternate picking, back to G and D, D string open, upward stroke, G string. Okay, so here it is from that G chord. Okay, and each of those phrases, except the first one, is played 2 times. So that first phrase we only play once. The rest of them we play twice. This leads into our chorus, okay? So what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna play the second half of the verse. I'm not gonna play I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna go right into the E7 to G, into now this turnaround riff, okay? So here we go. Let's do that one more time. Okay, and I know we so want to resolve with, so we're going to do it. All right, so that turnaround leads into the chorus. So that, ooh, baby, it's a wild ride, right there is where we're going to start playing this next series of chords. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and play the chorus. We're going to break down the parts. As always, this is a live Q&A too, so if you guys have questions, comments, put them in the chat, and I will get to as many of those as we can. Again, my latecomers here, let me know where you're tuning in from, your favorite singer-songwriter. We're learning Wild World today, really fun song. And again, if you're having a blast, be sure to subscribe to the channel. It helps the cause. And to check out all the cool stuff that Fishman is up to. See all the gear that I use for these riff rundowns. I'm leaving a link in the video description right there so you can check it out too, because I know I get a ton of questions about the RF Fishman that I use and the Matrix. The awesome, awesome Matrix pickup. So you can go ahead and check all of that out. All right. So let's go ahead and let's see, I'll take a couple of questions. Here we are in the key of C major. And you're gonna see that in the chorus because there's a very cool little riff that comes up. It's very neat. Yeah, it's good stuff, guys. Thank you so much. As far as strings that I'm using here, I'm using D'Addario nickel bronze lights. I like 12 gauge strings on my acoustics. Can you please do a Grateful Dead song? It's on the list, don't worry. Be sure to subscribe so you know when it's coming. But yes, there is some Dead on the way. Awesome, thank you all so much for tuning in. This is great. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the chorus here. I'm gonna play it, and again, note by note, chord by chord, we're gonna talk about it. So here we go, and I'm gonna do it in time. So here it is. So we're gonna go ahead, walk through all of these parts. Now, for the chorus, 3 chords. We're gonna start this chorus with a C over G. That's going to be the strumming pattern. We're going to be nice and open here. Again, listen to the song, listen to the groove, okay? Nice and light strumming. Let the pick do the work for you. I'm a fan of strumming from the elbow. I like the sustain with the wider strum, but again, if you like to strum from the wrist, totally cool. So here we go with that. That's going to be the strumming of that C over G. Two-hour G chord voiced in this way. Fingers are only on the G notes. A string is muted. The rest of the strings are going to be open, okay? So here we go, that C over G to G. Again. One more time here. One more for good luck. Here we go. Then F bar chord. Again. One more time. Right? So that's what's happening there. Here is the first lick that we see in this chorus. I will play that again. Does anyone recognize what this is? Gold star and virtual high five to those of you who recognize this. Anyone know what that is? Give it a listen and see. Isn't that interesting? It's kind of a cool thing that they add in this song. So, it's a scale. Good job, Jeff. Gold star and virtual high five to you, my friend. That is a C major scale. That's the riff. Isn't that so cool? So, let's go ahead and learn how we do this. This is an open one, so we're not playing it like this. We're not doing it like that. We're doing it with a lot of open strings, which is super cool. Okay, so we're starting from C, we are going backwards, okay? So what we're gonna do here, first finger on C, open B string, second finger, second fret of the G string. Let's do that again. C, B, A, open G string, G, third finger, third fret of the D string, F, second finger, second fret of the D string, E, to D, open string, third finger reaches to C, third fret of the A string. So isn't that cool? Learning this scale in a really cool way, and it happens to be a riff in this song. It's awesome. So, okay, let's go ahead and do this again nice and slow. We're gonna run through this a couple of times, okay? We're just gonna do the riff for the C major scale here, all right? Just gonna do that. Various speeds, we'll start off slow, we'll do it a few times, and then we'll add in those chords. And again, alternate picking, please and thank you. Trust me, you will thank me later. Do this with alternate picking. Start with a downward stroke, upward, down, up, down, up, down, up, okay? Again, I'll do it a little slower. So, one more time, and then we'll attach it to the chords. Now let's go ahead and play with the chords. We'll do it slow to start, okay? So here we go. Again. Okay, one more time. Here we go. Now a little faster. One more time. Okay, so that's what's happening there. It's slow and steady with this. If you got a metronome, yay. That is always a good way to go about it. So after we do that riff, we go into that G chord. We're going to do here, hit the G note first, strum the chord, okay? Then we go to an F bar chord. I know, everybody's favorite. Power through it. You can do it. It's a C over G. Nice loose strumming. I'll go ahead and play that. Again, from the riff. Again. Then we have this riff. Not too bad. It's only a couple notes. Okay. So what we're going to do here, third finger, third fret of that E string. Alternate pick this too. I'd prefer that. When I play this, I alternate pick. So down, up. Open A string. Then you're going to hit C, third fret of that A string. You're going to hit it 2 times. Okay? You're going to hit it 3 times. I lied. 3 times. Okay, let's do that again. Open A string, then to G. Okay, so let's do that again. Nice and slowly here. Here's that riff. Riff or lick 2 of the chorus. Again. Just like that, folks. Okay, so that's what's going on there. Let's start from the top of the chorus, adding in these 2 riffs here, and then I'll give you an option too for lick number 2. Okay, so here we go. Okay, again. That's what's happening there. Now, for lick number 2, if you listen to the studio version from T for the Tillerman, you'll notice that there's a secondary guitar part, and it sounds like this. It's pretty much the same strings, or not the same strings. We just shift everything down. It's a nice harmony part. So say you're playing with someone else, you got someone else coming over and they're bringing their guitar, and you're playing this song. One of you play the first one, and one of you can play the second one. You'll play in harmony. It's kind of neat. So how we do this secondary harmony riff, okay, You're going to get your second finger, place that on C, 3rd fret of the A string, strike it twice, open D string. You're going to put your first finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, that's E, we're going to hit it 3 times, open D string, C, 3rd fret of the A string. So I'll do that nice and slowly here. Again. So here's lick number 1. This is the more prominent one, and then I'll do the harmony. So here's the first one. Number 2. Riff 1. Riff 2. Harmony part. Riff 1, last time. Harmony part. All right, so that's what's happening there. Now, for the end, so this chorus, it repeats. So we got here, it's a G, F, riff 1, riff 2, back to the top. Back to G, F, and C over G for that second time as we're closing out that chorus, but then this comes in. A really nice little thing. He's playing a D minor into an E7. Okay, so for my beginners, if this is a little too fast, no problem. Just play a D minor to an E7, then we get back to the verse. Totally fine to do that, but I'm always encouraging you guys to get out of your comfort zone and play something pretty cool. What we're gonna do here, so this is a D sus2, okay? So the notes he's plucking here are D, A, D, and E, okay? So we're getting rid of that F sharp, we're putting the 2 in there instead. So what we're gonna do here, get your second finger, placing that on the 2nd fret of the G string, that's A, 3rd finger, 3rd fret of the B string, that is D, and you're gonna go from the D string downwards, open D string, G string, B string, and E. Just like that. And just strike all of those downwards. Okay, let's do that one more time. Now, what we're gonna do here, bring the second finger up. We're gonna now play this other version of E7 that I talked about at the top of the hour. Bring the second finger up to the 2nd fret of the D string. That note is E. First finger placing it on the G sharp 1st fret of the G string. We're gonna pluck the same exact strings, D, G, B, and E. Okay, so just like that. So that's what is happening there. To E7. Okay, let's do that again. Pretty neat, huh? Let's do that again. All right, so that's what's happening there. Let's now go ahead and play the entire chorus. I will go through it slowly, and then I will go over it just a little bit faster. I'll take some time for some questions here. I'm seeing some questions come in. We'll go through that. We'll learn the piano solo, and folks, we have gone through the entire tune of Wild World. Again, if you guys are enjoying these lessons, be sure to subscribe to the channel, Angela Petrilli Music on YouTube, and to check out all the cool stuff that Fishman is up to. I've got a link in the video description, so you can click on that and you can see all the cool stuff that I use for these riff rundowns, okay? So here's the chorus. I'm gonna do a slow version and then I'm gonna do a faster one, okay? So here we go from the top. of the chorus. So I'll do that one more time here, so at a slow pace. Here we go. And again, my beginners for that section with the D sus2 to the E7 arpeggiated. If it's too much, play a D minor, switching to an E7, okay? So here's that chorus going a little bit faster. I will take a few of these questions. Here we go. Let's do that again. Let's do that one more time here. What I'll do is I will add in the harmony part too, so you guys can hear that. Here we go. So that's what's happening there for that harmony part. If you got another friend who plays guitar, definitely do that together. It'd be a lot of fun. Maybe someone could be capoed or do different inversions of these chords. It'd be really, really fun. So, okay, let's take a couple questions here. I'm seeing them come in. After this, we will go ahead and look at the piano solo, which I have transcribed for guitar. We'll go through the tune, and then that is it for today, folks. Again, I am live every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe so that you get a notification for that. Someone is asking what exactly, as far as the Fishman gear, tell us a little bit about the gear. Okay, so as far as the gear goes, I use an Aura Spectrum DI. I love that. It's that little silver box I talk about. I absolutely love it. It's an awesome imager. I plug into that. It's a DI as well, and it's great. I use it at all my acoustic gigs. It is the one piece of gear I always bring. So again, the link is in the video description. You can check that out. The Aura Fishman, the Fishman Aura Spectrum DI. As far as the pickups here, these are the Matrix Enhance. I also have the Matrix Infinity in a lot of my acoustics too. I really like those. That's the pickup. Let's see here. And then I am plugged into the Fishman Loudbox Performer for an amp, and then that's being mic'd up by an SM57, and then I'm going in through my interface here to all of you around the world. So yeah, that's the gear I'm using here today. We got someone saying, so is that D in the intro a borrowed chord? So the answer is yes. Since we were in the key of C, that should be a D minor as the 2 chord, but we're making it a D major. Because again, melody always wins. Stuff that the Beatles did too. They borrowed chords. They're like, you know what? This chord works a little better with the melody and maybe it doesn't line up with the national number system, but that's okay. Melody always wins for my songwriters out there. Melody always, always wins. So yeah, Cat Stevens, Yusuf, he's one of the best to do it. Really, really lovely. Also too, this is something I wanted to mention. There is a live version of this. This is where I based the guitar solo from and transcribed it through piano. I watched this live version. It was in 2016 where Chris Cornell does a duet and sings this with him, and it is absolutely awesome. I highly encourage you guys to watch that performance after this lesson today. It is stunningly beautiful. The musicianship, the harmonies, the way they sound together, it gives me chills. It is just a stunning, stunning performance. So those of you, if you want to go down the YouTube rabbit hole, definitely check out that live version of Wild World. Really great musicians all around, just fantastic. Okay. So let's see, I will take one more question, then we'll go ahead and get on to that guitar solo. Any advice for beginners? I love this. Practice. Slow and steady wins the race. Try not to chase, there's a bunch of advice that I can give. Don't try and chase the clock. Really, really focus on really solid, good technique. Take your time. Take your time with things, okay? And really look and really think about, switching between your chords. Think about the choreography, like what would make the most sense from switching from chord to chord. Again, when I mentioned, pivot fingers, we didn't see a lot of that today in this particular lesson, but in a lot of lessons I have done, you can go ahead and watch them. You can see how pivot fingers really, really help you in your switching. I would say definitely focus on left hand and spend some practice focusing on right hand techniques, because I think the best way to really, really delve into that is taking it part by part and then bringing them together, seeing where tweaks need to be made and all of that stuff. So yeah, that's my advice, but there's lots more that you can do, but definitely take your time, enjoy the journey. Enjoy the journey, because it is super cool to learn a song, and then once you learn it, you're like, oh, I learned it, but that's cool. So take part in really enjoying the journey of the learning process. So that's my advice. Okay, so let's go ahead here. Let's look at the solo. Again, this solo I got from that live version that Chris Cornell did with Yusuf Cat Stevens. So you can go and watch it on YouTube. It's really, really great. It's a black and white video. It's awesome. So this is what the guitar player did, and you can kind of see him in the corner playing this, and it's a lot of fun. It's really, really tasty. So it's gonna go like this. Really beautiful part. Nice harmonies, right? I got these dyads happening. It's great. So what we're gonna do here, first and second finger, and don't worry, the highest we're going on this acoustic guitar is the 13th fret. We could go all the way up here, but who wants to do that on an acoustic guitar? So first two fingers, your first finger, place that on the 12th fret of the E string. That note is E, right? Your second finger placing that on C, 13th fret of that B string. We're gonna hit this 10 times, I think. Yeah, about 10 times. And it's going to be downward picked, okay? We don't need to do any, it's not doing that. Now, if you wanted to give it a little more of, say, a Spanish flair, maybe plucking them and using your fingers and playing the whole riff in that way. For me, you can go and you could tuck and then do that picking, or if you just want to use the pick, downward strokes, you're great. Don't worry about it, all right? For this, I will be teaching it with the pick. First finger, placing that on the 10th fret of the E string. That note is D. Your third finger playing the 12th note of the B string. That note is B, okay? We're gonna play that, let it rest for a minute, then we're gonna strike that 10 times. We're gonna bring all of this back again, whole step. But let's go ahead and look over those first two parts too. I don't want to give you too much at once. So here we go. And then we go to that. Okay, so let's do that again a little slower. Bring this shape back a whole step. First finger should be on the A fret of the E string. That note is C. Your third finger should be on the 10th fret of the B string. That note is A. Okay, so let's do this again nice and slowly here, those first three dyad harmonies. Rest. And we're just going to strum that one time. First finger on B, 7th fret of that E string. Third finger is going to be on that 9th fret of the B string. That's going to be your G sharp. Okay, so we're picking out two of the notes that are in that E7 chord, okay? We're picking the 5 and that 3. All right, so again, nice and slowly here. We're gonna slide that back, try and get that slide in there. It'll sound really cool. Okay, again. And then we slide into an E7. First finger on that G sharp, first fret of the G string, second finger, second fret of the A string B. And we do that riff, remember? We're gonna throw that in too. So open, E string, downward stroke, G string, upward stroke. Hammer on third finger, second fret of the G string, that note is A. Upward stroke on the B string. Okay, so here's the whole thing nice and slow. And then we go into another verse. Okay, let's do that one more time, and we'll go ahead and call it a day, folks. So here we go. We give those two each, or that happens just half the time as it does at the top. The top of the song. Okay, so that's what's happening there, folks. That's the entire song. We got through all of it. It's a really, really beautiful 3.5-minute song. It's absolutely stunning. Again, I encourage you to look at the duet with Chris Cornell for this. It is just awesome musicianship. It's great. Gave me chills. It's really, really good. So a ton of fun. Again, tag me and Fishman in your videos. We always like to see how you are doing. Again, if you enjoy these lessons, be sure to subscribe to the channel to check out all the cool stuff Fishman is up to and to see all of the gear that I use for these riff rundown lessons. Be sure to click the link in the video description. It is all there. And of course, folks, as always, wishing you all much success in your guitar playing journey. It is always such a joy and such an honor to see all the familiar names on the chat and to have you guys tuning in. It is just such a blast. It's been so much fun. It's been a fun year. Can you believe it? I've been doing these for a year. Next week will be the 1-year anniversary of the Riff Rundown. I am so thankful to teach you guys how to play. It's just such a wonderful way to play it for, pay it forward and play it forward. Kind of love that. Believe in yourself when you play. Take your time, all right? And really enjoy the journey. My beginners, don't feel discouraged. We all have our days where we feel like we're hitting a block wall, but don't worry, when you power through it, and if you really love it, you're gonna make progress. So know that I'm rooting for you when you're learning how to play. Know that I'm rooting for you. And yeah, just thanks again for such a wonderful, wonderful year of doing these. I can't wait for what's in store for 2022. I will be out next week. Don't worry, it's gonna be pre-recorded, so we'll have a lesson there. I have yet to pick which tune it'll be, but it'll be a fun one. It'll probably be acoustic. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a fun year teaching you guys how to play guitar, and I look forward to doing a lot more of that. So again, thank you all so much. Enjoy the journey, and I will see you guys next week on the Riff Rundown. Everybody take care. Have a fantastic